A major concern, particularly in flooded areas where sewage, chemicals, and even bodies are contaminating the water. Thousands have now been evacuated from the Superdome in New Orleans, but the operation had to be halted at one point when shots. Bush says looters should be treated with zero tolerance. ABC's Diane Sawyer asked the president today whether the government was fully prepared for this disaster.
But given the fact that everyone anticipated a possible Hurricane 5 hitting shore, are you satisfied with the pace at which this is arriving and at which it was planned to arrive?
Well, I fully understand people wanting things to have happened yesterday. I mean,
Help isn't coming soon enough for some victims of Hurricane Katrina without food, shelter, and hope.
It's hospital patients instead of military reservists flying into the Joint Reserve Base in Fort Worth overnight.
And out of devastation, signs of joy with the birth of babies in the storm zone. We'll have the very latest on the aftermath of Katrina. That's coming up next here on Midday.
Having a surgery definitely saved my life.
Not only do I feel healthier, I can be active with my kids again.
Complete Bariatrics of Dallas helped these people achieve a new level of wellness through our comprehensive approach to weight loss surgery. Our team of specialists is here throughout the process to guide you and help you adapt to your new life.
At Complete Bariatrics of Dallas, our philosophy is inner health, outer beauty. Call now for information on our free seminars or to schedule your consultation.
Eliza Jean, call holding line 1. Eliza Jean.
Catch the Z's you've been dreaming of at Mattress Giant.
It's the Mattress Giant Labor Day sale you've been waiting for. Save 50% off a luxurious Euro top in any size. Or Spring Air, a Consumer Digest Best Buy, on sale from $499.99. Don't miss great savings and 0% interest for 24 months at Mattress Giant's Labor Day sale.
Only at Mattress Giant. Ooh, ah.
Now, with continuing coverage of Hurricane Katrina.
Everybody's going absolutely insane. Sad faces, people who need help, bread, water, clothes, you know, water is up and everywhere. Water is everywhere.
Reality is now setting in for many of the hurricane victims. Still no home, no food or water, and some without their loved ones. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Justin Farmer.
And I'm Alexa Economos. Thank you for joining us. We are following some new developments this midday that you need to know about. First, President Bush will visit the Gulf Coast region tomorrow. He will survey the damage in Alabama and Mississippi by helicopter and then go on to New Orleans. The military will increase the number of troops in both Louisiana and Mississippi to about 18,000. And Texas has agreed to take in an additional 25,000 refugees. They may be housed in San Antonio. Meteorologist Pete Dalkus continues his tireless work in Baton Rouge this afternoon. And Pete, with those rescue operations suspended, the unrest growing there, the water becoming even more dangerous, is there any hope for these victims?
Well, I think, yes, there is some hope, Alexa, but you really hit it on the head right there. People's tempers are really getting very short. They're in a very, very difficult situation, quite possibly the most difficult of their lives. And from their point of view, they just don't see things getting any better at all. The stories of tragedy coming from New Orleans and Mississippi are really beyond words. The aftermath of Hurricane Katrina may have been predicted, but no doubt it is still a shock. ABC's Darren Lynn has the details from Gulfport, Mississippi.
The stories of horror coming from New Orleans and Mississippi are beyond words. The aftermath of Hurricane Katrina may have been predicted, but it is still a shock.
We understand that there are thousands of dead people.
The first busloads of refugees began arriving at the Astrodome in Houston this morning. In all, 20,000 people are being transported out of the New Orleans Superdome, where the conditions became intolerable.
They're just telling us to wait. They're not telling us, they're not giving us no information.
To make matters worse, the caravan from New Orleans to Houston was temporarily halted after gunshots were fired at some of the evacuation helicopters. There were no reports of injuries, and the journey has resumed. There are 2 levee breaks in the Crescent City. One is 400 feet wide in the middle of the city next to Lake Pontchartrain. Emergency crews are attempting to drop giant sandbags and concrete barriers into place by helicopters in an attempt to contain the water.
It's one of those disasters I think you could really only say it's biblical proportions.
The Coast Guard has taken part in hundreds of dramatic rescues. President Bush says the pictures are etched in his mind.
Well, I think the image that sticks in my mind the most is somebody sitting on a rooftop waving a flag saying, "Come and get me."
National Guard members are being deployed to Mississippi and Louisiana to keep the peace. Widespread looting continues to plague both states. Police and sheriff's departments along the Gulf Coast are also stepping up patrols to prevent widespread looting. They are strictly enforcing dusk to dawn curfews. Darren Lynn, ABC News, Gulfport, Mississippi.
We have been showing you the pictures of the dramatic rooftop rescues. Now we want to show you video from the point of view of the Coast Guard. As you take a look at this, these pictures are from the inside of a Coast Guard helicopter. As you can see, it's not easy hoisting people to safety. You can also see the emotions of people who are out of harm's way. Thousands of people who didn't evacuate before Katrina struck have been rescued from New Orleans. But it's estimated hundreds more may still be stranded in houses in flooded neighborhoods. The Coast Guard has also activated 3 national strike teams to help in the removal of hazardous material. The sun came up in Louisiana this morning as Texas state troopers arrived in Baton Rouge. 80 troopers in 40 cars left the Lone Star State with the explicit mission to escort evacuees from the Superdome in New Orleans to the Astrodome in Houston. So conditions continue to seem to worsen if that's possible. Patients right now are running very, very thin. The heat has started here at midday as we move through now what is Thursday. And again, people just don't seem to have much in the way of patience. But as we move along, hopefully they'll be able to understand that everyone is doing everything that they can to make conditions a little bit more tolerable. Back to you.
Meteorologist Pete Delkus in Baton Rouge. Thank you, Pete. Some medical evacuees from New Orleans are now receiving care in North Texas hospitals. They arrived early this morning at the Joint Reserve Base in Fort Worth. Channel 8's Cynthia Vega there this morning and joins us. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, Justin. It has been a very heartwarming scene out here at the hangar, watching these patients one by one get off the plane, all of them obviously ill, but at the same time very clearly relieved that they are finally out of harm's way. That first plane carrying 46 patients carried out of flood-ravaged New Orleans hospitals arrived first thing this morning. It took 5 hours alone simply to board them, given their individual medical conditions, and then they spent all night flying here aboard a no-frills Air National Guard plane. A medical team of North Texans, mostly volunteers, helped each and every patient off that plane. 3 of them on IVs needing critical care, 1 needing pediatric care, and the rest in wheelchairs. Their medical needs immediately assessed, and then they were sent to area hospitals, about a dozen of them. It was a grueling, sleepless night for the military personnel, doctors, and firefighters here on hand, but you'd never know it.
And then to be able to come out here, be part of this process, and know that we're doing it, even though it's a very small part, having a hand in it, it's very satisfying to the individuals involved. Very satisfying.
And in fact, several more planes carrying patients out of New Orleans expected today and maybe into the days ahead. We just don't know at this point the extent of Katrina's punishing effect in that area. But at the same time, this medical team you have seen here is very ready to step up the plate and help whenever needed. As they told us today, they are putting into use the very same skills they have only recently acquired to respond to a terrorist attack. Reporting live in Fort Worth, I'm Cynthia Vega. Back to you.
All right, Cynthia, thank you. As we mentioned earlier, President Bush will travel to the Gulf Coast tomorrow for a personal look at hurricane damage and relief efforts there. The president gave an exclusive White House interview today to ABC's Diane Sawyer. And ABC's Sonia Crawford brings us the very latest on federal assistance now.
More Navy ships are getting ready to head to the Gulf Coast, carrying medical personnel and search and rescue teams. 20,000 National Guard troops will be in the hurricane region by this afternoon to help restore law and order. President Bush says he knows hurricane victims are frustrated.
Well, I fully understand people wanting things to have happened yesterday. I mean, I understand the anxiety of people on the ground. I just can't imagine what it's like to be waving a sign that said, "Come and get me now."
He says even the federal government didn't expect the kind of destruction Katrina brought.
I don't think anybody anticipated the breach of the levees. They did anticipate a serious storm. But these levees got breached, and as a result, much of New Orleans is flooded, and now we're having to deal with it, and will.
The Red Cross says it's raised more than $21 million in donations. Corporate America has chipped in $33 million. The president is drafting former Presidents Bush and Clinton to raise money for hurricane victims, like they did for those who suffered in last year's tsunami. The Secretary of Homeland Security says Katrina reminds everyone that it's important to be prepared.
We have to be prepared as a nation and as individuals to face these and other potentially dangerous situations.
The president heads to the hurricane region tomorrow to see the devastation firsthand. He'll meet with victims and emergency personnel. Sonia Crawford, ABC News, Washington.
The president also said he hoped Americans would conserve gasoline as production capacity has clearly been hurt by this storm, and he advocated zero tolerance for all looters.
And again, if you missed it, the president is pressing his father and his predecessor into service again. Former Presidents Bush and Clinton will spearhead an international relief effort for hurricane victims. They undertook a similar effort for the South Asian tsunami victims last year. In the spirit of giving, WFAA is working with Tom Thumb and the Dallas Morning News now to raise funds for the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund.
Just use a scan card for the Spirit of Texas hurricane relief effort at all North Texas Tom Thumb store locations.
Or you can donate any Chase or Bank One location in Texas. You can make those checks payable to the Spirit of Texas Hurricane Relief Fund.
And if you'd like to drop off your collection personally to us, Channel 8 is hosting a drive-through to collect financial donations as well. That's tomorrow from 2 to 6 in the afternoon, and all proceeds once more go to the American Red Cross. And Justin, as you pointed out earlier this morning, it's much like when people come to drop off toys for Troy Dungan's toy drive. You just drive up, we'll be there to pick it up.
A lot of people are going to be volunteering, so we'd love it if you'd come down. And hey, man, we hit 100 degrees yesterday.
Yeah,
right,
we
Steve?
did. Yeah, we'll probably do it again today,
Really?
too. Yeah, I wish we could send some of this drier air down south, and I think we will down toward Louisiana, but for today, it's still very sticky down there, and thunderstorms are once again redeveloping in the New Orleans area. Let's just give you a quick update with the DopplerNet perspective of the thunderstorms flaring up around New Orleans and really on the east side, some very heavy rainfall. Also, just to the north of Lake Pontchartrain, got another little cluster of thunderstorms developing there, but this should be the last day of thunderstorm activity in the New Orleans area. Much drier air will be pushing in there by tomorrow. Right now, we have the dry air in place. We have cobalt blue skies here in North Texas. It's 94 degrees, but look at that dew point all the way down to 58. That puts me at 30%. Pressure is holding steady, and the winds have turned around to the north-northwest now at about 7 miles per hour. Again, no rainfall. We're still at 2.46 inches, 6 2/3 of an inch below the normal for this time of the year. This morning, 72 degrees, just about on the money as far as the averages are concerned, and we'll make a run for 100 degrees again today. But once again, that record, 109, set back in that brutal summer of 2000. Your pollen count, well, we got the fungus and ragweed both high. Grass is moderate. They were totaling out 2293 grains per cubic meter. Everybody in the 90s right now. Look at Terrell already at 97 degrees, while it's only 90 up the road in Decatur, and a couple of 93s both in Fort Worth and Dallas. A little cooler as you head to the northwest around Vernon at 86, but it's already 95 down south in Palestine. Got a few clouds drifting in. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple little sprinkles, but no significant precipitation is expected. Instead, summer heat, upper 90s to near 100 degrees today. Again, with very, very light winds, we do have an air pollution watch, a level red in effect for later on this afternoon. There's not a lot going on across the nation. We do have a little cluster of thunderstorms developing up here in Kansas behind the cold front that will gradually take our temperatures back down to the low to mid 90s as we head into the weekend, but don't see much chance for any rainfall until Saturday, when we should see some widely spaced thunderstorms redeveloping. I want to give you a quick update out here in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Of course, this is Tropical Storm Lee to the north, headed out to sea, not bothering anybody, but this could possibly be Tropical Storm Mariah over the next 12 hours or so. Right now, it's just a tropical depression. We're going to be watching that because it will be approaching the east coast of the United States. But again, when you do the math, it looks like a blocking ridge of high pressure may deflect it away from the United States. Let's certainly hope that that will be the case. In the meantime, this is what we're going to be watching. This little cool front dropping on in, keeping our humidity levels down low, and perhaps by Saturday we'll start to increase the chances of rain. But until then, it should be pretty dry here in North Texas. So mostly sunny and hot, 100, 73 for tonight, 97. We're going down, 95. A chance of thunderstorms developing on Saturday, dropping to 92 degrees on Sunday. And look at these nice, comfortable overnight lows dropping back into the lower 70s. Again, storms in the New Orleans area today, but they will finally see the dry air by this weekend.
Excellent.
Okay.
Next on Midday, stories of survival. We'll hear from two mothers who gave birth in the wake of Hurricane Katrina and efforts to keep the tiniest survivors alive.
And I've already lost my daughter, and now I don't know where my sons are.
For others, the search for loved ones continues. How this grandmother copes in the face of tremendous loss.
And sportsmen band together to rescue those who wouldn't leave their homes. News 8 Midday continues in just a moment.
Want a lot of free enchiladas? Stop by any El Fenix restaurant during Lotta Enchilada Month and register to win enchiladas for life. Sign up and win at El Fenix.
This is your last chance. MattressFirm's huge Labor Day sale ends Monday night at 9. Don't miss introductory savings on Simmons Beauty Rest. 13 queen sets under $5.99. MattressFirm also carries Tempur-Pedic, adjustables, pillow tops, and accessories with same-day delivery. Complete your bedroom with designer furniture now on sale. No down payment and no interest till 2008. Just make sure you come to MattressFirm before Monday night at 9.
Where it's easy to get a great night's sleep. See ya in a Southwest Kia.
Hello Metroplex, Bill Dickinson here with Southwest Kia, I-20 at Southampton. And our philosophy on selling cars is simple, deep discounts. How about a brand new Kia Rio for only $64.88? And of course our 5-star safety rated van, the Kia Sedona, starting at only $239 a month. And both of these vehicles come with a free 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And remember, if I can't beat a new car Kia deal in Texas, I'm just going to give it to you.
It only happens once a year. The Labor Day half-price sale at the Luxury of Leather. Take 50% off retail on everything in the Luxury of Leather's 5 showrooms. Plus, you'll save hundreds more when you buy 2 pieces or more. The more you buy, the more you'll save on sofas, love seats, chairs, sectionals, recliners, and theater seating. Choose the style, color, and comfort, and we'll handcraft it just for you. The Luxury of Leather's Labor Day half-price sale. Custom leather furniture at 50% savings and more. Don't miss it.
And we have some breaking news that is good news. Last night at 10 o'clock, Dan Ronan brought us the story of a Plano man hoping for word about the fate of his 90-year-old father, Joseph Scheer, who sat out the storm at his home in New Orleans. Scheer is no stranger to tragedy. He survived the infamous Nazi death camps at Auschwitz. But we have the good news to report. Dan has learned that Scheer has been rescued and that his son is now en route to pick him up.
Good news.
In North Texas, we've got to talk about those gas prices. We know they're rising here, but nothing like what occurred in Atlanta yesterday. Have a look. That is $5.97 you can see on this upcoming sign here. Another gas station showing just under $5. Most, however, are reporting prices like they are here in the $3 range. Georgia's governor says those stations that are overcharging, they are going to be punished for price gouging.
Oh, boy.
So why did exactly the gas prices spike all of a sudden after Katrina hit?
Elizabeth Souter is an energy writer for the Dallas Morning News, and she joins us to put some perspective on the situation. And I guess the first thing, Elizabeth, that everyone wants to know is there really a gas shortage, and how critical is it?
What we're told is there's not a lack of gasoline for the country. What's happening is that everybody's going out to fill up their tanks worried that there will be a shortage. So it's almost like a run on the bank. Everybody who usually keeps their tanks half full suddenly wants their tanks full, and there's shortages here and there.
There's just great demand for it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Now, what about the notion of the refineries? And I guess a third of the U.S. oil supply that turns into gasoline comes through the Gulf region, specifically Port of New Orleans. So is it the refinery issue, or is it the fact that the port has been damaged?
This is really a refinery issue. 90% of our refining capacity has been shut down. So we have enough oil and we have some gasoline reserves, but that oil isn't being refined into gasoline right now. That's what's causing the prices to go up.
Now, and as you mentioned, we have seen the prices go up tremendously just in the last day or two alone. So for those people who, you know, are just thinking about the next week or so, what can we expect? Are they going to keep steadily rising, or are they going to sort of flatten out at a certain point in time?
Analysts say that it'll be pretty volatile the next few days. We could see them go up even higher. Again, it's not so much a shortage problem, just run on the bank type situation.
Okay, all right. Elizabeth Souter from the Dallas Morning News, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, 10 babies in other news evacuated from New Orleans are in North Texas this afternoon, and 7 were taken to Medical City Children's Hospital, the rest to Presbyterian. Most of these babies were born prematurely and need intensive care, and in most cases, doctors have contacted the parents to tell them their babies are now in Dallas.
These are unreal stories of survival coming out of this horrible event, but it's the stories of mothers who have given birth in the worst of conditions that can be a beacon of hope to many others. Elizabeth Cohen reports.
Jasmine Anderson had her first helicopter ride when she was 3 days old and weighed just 1 pound, 4 ounces. Saturday at Memorial Baptist Hospital in New Orleans, Jasmine was born 9 weeks early. Her terrified mother, Lintrella Anderson, watched out her hospital window as the water got higher and higher.
I was told my baby was going to leave first because she was the smallest and the sickest one.
Tuesday, mother and baby were airlifted here to Women's Hospital in Baton Rouge, but there was no room for her husband, who stayed behind at the hospital in New Orleans.
They told me my husband was not coming with me. So, and after that, it just all broke loose. And he had to stay behind.
Their 2 older children are safe in Houston with relatives, but Jasmine's future is uncertain.
Maybe possible a blood transfusion. You know, she's really small and she's really sick.
Lintrella's future is uncertain too. She'll be discharged tonight and has nowhere to go.
When you walk out the doors of this hospital, where are you going?
I plan to turn back around and sit in the lobby.
This hospital is full of evacuation stories, but perhaps none as bittersweet as Rosina Jefferson's. Sunday night, while in labor, she jumped out of her window and swam for half an hour to get help for her 5-year-old son, who was having an asthma attack.
When you jumped, what did you tell your 5-year-old son?
Well, Mom going to get us some help.
But Rosina was having contractions as she swam. She reached a bridge, and a helicopter brought her to Baton Rouge, where she gave birth to a baby boy. She has no idea where her older son is.
I'm mad because I got this baby, but I miss my other baby.
I'm going to help you, so you're not going to be alone.
When Rosina leaves the hospital Thursday morning, some members of a nurses' church will take her in, and Rosina has hope that her older son is safe and sound.
I know I'm going to see him again.
Elizabeth Cohen, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
What can you say?
There are no words.
Still to come on News 8 Midday, a high-profile lawmaker returns to his stately Mississippi home after the hurricane. What he sees devastates him.
And celebrities from music, television, and film offer their talents to raise funds for hurricane relief. We'll fill you in. That's coming up next.
Live captioning of News 8 is sponsored by Boothe Eye Care and Laser Center. Call 214-328-0444 today for your free screening.
A portion of this program is brought to you by Texas Lottery. People all over are playing and winning Lotto Texas every Wednesday and Saturday. Somebody is buying a winning ticket right now. Pick your number today.
Denture wearers, we stained a string of pearls in barbecue sauce, not just to prove the stain-removing strength of Efferdent Plus or the freshening power of its Listerine ingredients, but to give every denture wearer the confidence to show those pearly whites. The confident clean of Efferdent Plus.
See ya in a Southwest Kia.
Bill Dickinson here with Southwest Kia, I-20 at Southampton, and we were the nation's #1 volume dealer in July, and we have to repeat it for August. And how are we going to do it? Volume pricing. How about a brand new Kia Rio for only $64.88, or the luxury Kia Optima, $169 a month. And both of these vehicles come with a free 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And remember, if I can't beat a new car Kia deal in Texas, I'm just going to give it to you.
At Presbyterian Hospital of Dallas, tackling atrial fibrillation equals more bedtime stories. Carotid artery stenting equals more evening walks. PFO closure for the heart equals more backyard soccer drills. Every day, more people in Dallas are counting on the advanced cardiac treatment options and minimally invasive procedures at Presbyterian Hospital of Dallas to get them back to the things they love most. It all adds up. Presbyterian Hospital of Dallas.
You can store all this at Public Storage and pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. You can even store all this at Public Storage and still pay just $1 for the first month's rent. Call 1-800-44-STORE now. Offer ends soon.
I couldn't go out without a jacket. My old deodorant wasn't working, so I joined Arrid's Wetness Protection Program.
With the strongest ingredient to keep you Arrid ExtraDry.
Now nothing can cramp my style.
Join the Wetness Protection Program. Arrid ExtraDry.
Evacuations from New Orleans Superdome continue at this hour as thousands of people wait for buses that will take them to Houston's Astrodome.
Channel 8 meteorologist Pete Delk is joining us once again from Baton Rouge with the latest. Hi, Pete.
Hi, Justin. A very, very fluid situation, not only here in Baton Rouge, where we're at one of the command centers that the state police and all of the emergency management officials have set up, but across the entire region, a very changing situation. We're getting new reports, new updates in by the minute, so that's why we want to continue to update you on the evolving situation that we have here. And as you mentioned, the evacuations are continuing throughout New Orleans at this moment. Hundreds of Hilton Hotel employees and guests from New Orleans are now on their way to Texas. In the middle of the night, a convoy of buses took everyone out of the city. The buses kept their lights off, not to draw attention. These people grabbed whatever they could and left, most still separated from their families. It is proving to be a very, very difficult task to move thousands of people from New Orleans to the city of Houston to the Astrodome. It has been a very, very chaotic scene with thousands of people trying to board the buses. Still, the National Guard says the evacuations continue. Meanwhile, a Louisiana National Guard officer says there's a report of a shot being fired at a helicopter at the Superdome. Paramedics at the scene are becoming alarmed by the sight of people with guns. Katrina did not deal any breaks to the high-profile residents of the Gulf Coast. Take a look at this video. Here we see Senator Trent Lott inspecting his home in the town of Pascagoula, Mississippi. There's nothing but the foundation left. He and his wife and 2 children were away when the storm hit. He'd lived in the house for 20 years. The house was 150 years old, and Lott has told us that really everyone from President Bush
hadn't had any water, and they don't have any utilities, and they got a mess on their hands, and they are doing like I'm doing. You can't help but shed a few tears.
Lott says
this is where our home was.
Lott says everyone from President Bush to Dick Cheney to Colin Powell has sat on that porch with him. Back to you.
Wow.
Pete Delkus from Baton Rouge. Thank you, meteorologist Pete Delkus. Among the missing since Katrina hit New Orleans is music legend Fats Domino. He and his family live in the city's 9th ward, which is now completely underwater. Fats told his manager Monday that he'd ride out the storm. Then there's Aaron Neville and many of his family members living in New Orleans. They evacuated on Monday to Memphis, and they have received word that most of their homes have been destroyed.
But Morgan Freeman's home in Mississippi did survive, and now the star of $1 Million Baby wants to help out his neighbors. He set up an online auction that starts tomorrow in conjunction with the Red Cross, and he explained his plan today on Good Morning Texas.
It's called charityfolks.com. It's online. We got donations from places like the Four Seasons. You know, they offer like 3-day stays in one of their hotels around the country. We've got trips from Virgin Airlines. We've got premier tickets from Miramax. We've got Warner Brothers. We've got the Laureus Sports for Good.
And log on to WFAA.com/GMT for more information on Freeman's online relief auction.
Some celebrities are now jumping in to help with the relief efforts. ABC is in talks to join the 5 other broadcast networks next Tuesday evening for a fundraising program. The details have not yet been confirmed, but sources said comedian and talk show host Ellen DeGeneres may participate in a significant way. She grew up in New Orleans and has expressed her sorrow about this disaster. DeGeneres already took part last night in a New York telethon. It was packed with celebrities from Matt Damon to Angelina Jolie, and it raised several $1 million.
Louisiana natives Harry Connick Jr. and Tim McGraw's wife Faith Hill are all from Mississippi, and they're taking part in a live telethon on the NBC network tomorrow night. The New Orleans jazz great Wynton Marsalis will also participate, and the music networks are getting together for the relief effort as well. Shows will be staged in New York, LA, and Nashville. That's September 10th to air live on MTV, VH1, and CMT. And big names are attaching, from Green Day to Usher, Ludacris to Alicia Keys, Gretchen Wilson to Linkin Park. And Jerry Lewis is splitting the focus of his annual Labor Day telethon this weekend. All proceeds usually go to the Muscular Dystrophy Association, but this year he will include celebrity appeals for hurricane relief. MDA will also donate $1 million to help victims of Hurricane Katrina.
Tennis star Serena Williams has come up with a unique way to help hurricane victims. She says that she will donate $100 for every ace she serves for the rest of this tennis season to a hurricane-related charity. We're excited about this. Tomorrow from 2 to 6 p.m., WFAA will host a drive-through to collect your monetary donations. We will be out in front of our downtown studios here at Young and Record Streets, and we'll present the funds that we collect to the American Red Cross. We want to remind you that you can watch live coverage of the hurricane aftermath on WFAA's digital channel, that's 8.2 and TXEN. Also, go to our website, WFAA.com. We have extensive coverage there. This live coverage is from our New Orleans station, WWL. They are broadcasting out of Baton Rouge. And we'd like to say one more time, 2 o'clock tomorrow, you, Greg, and I will be there. There's going to be somebody from FAA from 2 to 6 tomorrow, so come say hello and bring a little bit of money.
No,
That's right. I just signed up for the 2 o'clock episode.
And Steve as well.
That's going to be fun, yeah.
And and Steve, as you know, we are housing now many evacuees from New Orleans. Yesterday we had an air pollution watch. Anything that they should know about North Texas weather today?
Well, right now we're all in the green. The air is really good, but we do have the air pollution watch level red in effect for later on this afternoon, when things could get a little bit hazardous as far as the air quality is concerned, with light winds and hot temperatures. But let me update you what's going on right now with the weather. We're not seeing a lot going on across North Texas. We do have a few puffy clouds developing out there, but temperatures are warming up fairly quickly. It's already 93 both in Fort Worth and Dallas. Mineral Wells shares that with us, as Granbury and Hillsborough and Waco. 97 degrees already in Terrell, also in Palestine. That's what we're expecting highs to top out around 100 to 102 degrees this afternoon. But the blessing, if you will, of all this is that the humidity levels are very low, so at least we don't have a heat index to deal with here in North Texas for today. Our forecast, we still do have a few thunderstorms developing in and around the New Orleans area right now, and that will be the forecast even into tonight, but eventually the dry air will be sinking down into Louisiana. Just a few little puffy clouds developing down there, but as far as heavy rainfall is concerned, that should be staying west of New Orleans, and by the weekend, some very dry air finally moving back into Louisiana. Back here in North Texas, again, mostly sunny and hot today, a high of about 100. Winds will stay light out of the north at 5 to 10. With that northerly direction, the southern portions of Tarrant and Dallas County will probably bear the brunt of the ozone later on today. Tonight, clear and mild, will drop down to 73. Then for tomorrow, partly sunny and hot, will take it down to about 97 degrees, and hopefully in the lower 90s for the weekend, with a fairly decent shot at some thunderstorms by Saturday.
Pretty good.
All right.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, many refugees are struggling for the very basics now: clean drinking water, shelter, food. So when volunteers of a North Texas church dished up hot meals, hungry families were ready.
Also, volunteer sportsmen used their fishing boats to help round up the survivors. So we'll go along for the ride when News 8 Midday continues.
Weather is sponsored by Zero Energy, a Weathermind sponsor.
Want a lot of free enchiladas? Stop by any El Fenix restaurant during Lotta Enchilada Month and register to win enchiladas for life. Sign up and win at El Fenix.
See ya in a Southwest Kia.
Hello, Metroplex. Bill Dickinson here with Southwest Kia, I-20 at Southampton, and we are Kia's #1 volume dealer in the nation for a reason. We simply have the best prices. How about a brand new Kia Rio? $64.88. Or how about the all-new Kia Spectra? Payments starting as low as $139 a month. And both of these vehicles come with a free 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. And remember, if I can't beat a new car Kia deal in Texas, I'm just going to give it to you.
All of us have internal plumbing. But for some of us with frequent urges, our pipes just don't work as well as they should. Sometimes you worry you could spring an embarrassing leak. So why deal with it on your own when there's something more you can do? Treat it once daily with VESIcare. VESIcare can reduce urges and may even help relieve bladder leakage. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, do not take VESIcare. While taking VESIcare, if you experience a serious allergic reaction, severe abdominal pain, or become constipated for 3 or more days, tell your doctor right away. Common side effects are dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and indigestion. So why wait? Ask your doctor today if VESIcare is right for you. Fewer urges and leaks. With VESIcare, it's not just a pipe dream.
It's Broadway's all-singing, all-dancing, all-American show, The Will Rogers Follies, the best musical that won them all. The Tony, the Drama Desk, the Critics Award. The New York Times says it's the one you've really been waiting for, The Will Rogers Follies.
Starring country music legend Larry Gatlin at the Bass Performance Hall, September 6th through the 11th. Call the Bass Hall box office for tickets.
The Will Rogers Follies.
A hot meal and some spiritual healing. 250 people from Louisiana got an invitation to dinner from a North Texas church.
And with it, much-needed moral support. News 8's Gary Reeves reports.
And we thank you that you sometimes put us in tough situations, but thank you that you said you will never leave us, nor will you forsake us.
Concord Baptist Church opened its doors to Katrina refugees, offering what even the coziest shelter or hotel can't. A home-cooked meal.
Yeah, we got our corn over here, and then Rubelita got her little special of carrots she's going to fix. Where are my carrots, Rubelita? Show my carrots.
Edna Pemberton started planning this dinner at 3 o'clock Tuesday. 24 hours later, she was swamped with help. Area stores and business groups paid for much of the food. Members of this church and others poured on the love. For the newly homeless like Corey Coleman, it couldn't have come at a better time.
What do you know about your house?
Nothing. We know it's underwater because we live like a block off of the levee.
Knowing he may have lost everything, he is grateful to have what's most important. Texas relatives to take in his baby, wife, and 8 other family members. And now a heaping helping of Texas hospitality. Gary Reeves, Channel 8 News.
Another local church is offering food and special prayers for the victims of Katrina. Potter's House is sending $250,000 worth of food to Louisiana. Some of it is already on the ground and being distributed. Church pastor Bishop T.D. Jakes is challenging all Texans and churches in particular to pitch in, get involved, and make help.
I think this is a critical time for us to have faith in God and to band together as people to make sure that we can represent the love of God in how we treat one another during a crisis like this.
Bishop Jake says his church is also sending food and toiletries to the refugees taking shelter at Reunion Arena here in Down. So many hurricane survivors are searching for family members. While many have lost everything that they own, others realize they may never see their loved ones again. We'll take a look at one woman's story.
We're also keeping a close eye on the market, so check that during the break. You're watching News at Midday.
Reach out to victims of Katrina through Channel 8 Spirit of Texas Hurricane Relief Fund. Stop by any Chase or Bank One branch, make a contribution to the American Red Cross, and help our neighbors back on their feet in the spirit of Texas.
Comcast high-speed internet. Now with 6 megs of speed, DSL can't match, and features DSL just doesn't have. Act fast and you can get Comcast high-speed internet's blazing new 6 meg speed for just $19.95 a month for 3 months. That's just $19.95 a month for speed that blows DSL away. So music, photos, everything downloads faster than ever. You also get great features like video mail that brings your email to life, the fan that lets you click and play videos in an instant, and Photo Show that lets you customize and share your pictures. They're all included free, exclusively with Comcast. If you're settling for DSL, you're not just getting less, you're getting left behind. No wonder more people choose Comcast. Get Comcast high-speed internet with 6 megs of speed for just $19.95 a month for 3 months and get a free self-install kit. Call 1-866-329-0658.
At traditional car dealers, you could spend hours haggling for the same price you get at CarMax the moment you walk in. For a great low price without the hassles, start at CarMax. CarMax, the way car buying should be. How do you want to shop for a used car?
Alone. No, really. Put everything online? Let me shop on my time.
CarMax.com has over 20,000 vehicles, and the price you see, that's the real price. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
It only happens once a year. The Labor Day half-price sale at the Luxury of Leather. Take 50% off retail on everything in the Luxury of Leather's 5 showrooms. Plus, you'll save hundreds more when you buy 2 pieces or more. The more you buy, the more you'll save on sofas, love seats, chairs, sectionals, recliners, and theater seating. Choose the style, color, and comfort, and we'll handcraft it just for you. The Luxury of Leather's Labor Day half-price sale. Custom leather furniture at 50% savings and more. Don't miss it.
You know, when we talk about the disaster caused by Hurricane Katrina, we often talk about the really big numbers.
But really, to get an idea as to how powerful this storm was, the only number you need to think about is 1. Gary Tuckman explains why.
Market Street in Waveland, Mississippi no longer looks anything like a street. Every home anywhere near here has been destroyed. We walk with 17-year-old Rebecca McIntosh across what were the tops of homes.
Do you know who used to live in this house that we're standing in?
Yeah. I think this is the roof to the house that was right there. A friend of mine used to live in.
I mean, this doesn't look like a neighborhood. Be careful. Watch your step.
No, really doesn't.
From the roof, we see the house Rebecca and her grandmother evacuated. A home that she saw from afar after the hurricane, but hasn't yet seen close up. Her grandmother couldn't come with us because the walk was too strenuous.
So these are your neighbors.
This is my neighbors.
I sure hope they weren't inside there.
Yeah, me too. I'm not sure if they evacuated or not.
And then we see Rebecca's house.
Is that black thing over there, was that your roof?
That was our roof.
And it blew all the way down there.
The only part of the home that isn't destroyed is the mailbox.
Is there anything that you left behind that's important to you that maybe we can look for right now?
I had a lot of collectibles I had to leave behind. And a lot of things that meant a lot to me, but there was just no room to bring them.
Like what did you leave behind that meant a lot to you?
Like a lot of porcelain dolls that can't be replaced.
As we look inside the house that was the center of this teenager's life, we find some of her keepsakes.
Is that one of them?
Yeah, this is one of my Barbie dolls that I collected, the Millennium Edition.
Here's your guitar, and here is... What's this?
It's actually a Mardi Gras doll that I got when I was like 7.
I don't know if this has any sentimental value to it.
Not as much as the other stuff, but hey.
We leave the house and trek back to Rebecca's grandmother. Our producer shows her the box of keepsakes we brought back.
God bless you all.
Okay, I'll take care.
I know there's other people in worship. You guys are so blessed. Oh God. I don't know what this world will do without people like you. I don't know what they do.
But there is a lot more heartache. Kathy Everard can't find 2 of her sons.
I am so worried. I just buried my sister last week. And I've already lost my daughter, and now I don't know where my sons are, or how they're faring, or what they're doing, or nothing else. I wish they would contact me.
Tell us their names.
Kevin McIntosh, he lives in Kill, Mississippi, and Bryan McIntosh, he lives here in Waveland. But I haven't been able to find either one of them.
In this neighborhood, there is no shortage of anguish. Gary Tuckman, CNN, Waveland, Mississippi.
Want a lot of free enchiladas? Stop by any El Fenix restaurant during Lotta Enchilada Month and register to win enchiladas for life. Sign up and win at El Fenix.
Catch the Z's you've been dreaming of at Mattress Giant.
It's the Mattress Giant Labor Day sale you've been waiting for. Save 50% off a luxurious Euro top in any size. Or Spring Air, a Consumer Digest Best Buy, on sale from $499.99. Don't miss great savings and 0% interest for 24 months at Mattress Giant's Labor Day sale.
Only at Mattress Giant.
Tired of paying too much for your glasses? Come to EyeMasters. Get 2 complete pairs of glasses for only $99. Even kids' glasses with impact-resistant lenses. Perfect for back to school. Choose from hundreds of frames in today's latest styles. Or save big on top designer frames at EyeMasters' $59.95 frame sale. Every frame in the store is now on sale for just $59.95. No exclusions. And most glasses are ready in about an hour. Style, value, selection. EyeMasters. Why pay more?
Phone, TV, DSL. Phone, TV, DSL. Phone, TV, DSL.
Phone, TV, DSL. Phone, TV, DSL.
What do you want?
Phone, TV, DSL.
Perfect, because now with SBC services, you can bundle up and save and have it all for under $75 a month.
What?
Go ahead, do the math. When you bundle up, you get all the great services you want for one great price. The proven reliability of SBC local service, digitally delivered satellite TV, and high-speed internet, all for under $75 a month. Want to save more? Add our singular wireless service and the savings just get better. Only one call to make, only one bill to pay. It's just that simple. So call or log on now to get
Phone, TV, DSL. Phone, TV, DSL.
Call 1-800-258-1054 or go online now.
Tonight, women, could you be seduced by a guy who starts out with a put-down? Some guys are getting rich teaching other guys their pickup tricks. Now, Primetime gets you in close to show you how to beat them at their own new seduction game. Primetime gets it done tonight.
Most evacuees from Louisiana fled thinking they'd return within days, but it may be months before they can start to rebuild.
Channel 8's Rebecca Rodriguez has a story of one man who says he now has no choice but to try to get a job here in North Texas.
Mark Graffio thought he'd be home by now. Instead, he is scouring the classifieds for a job in North Texas.
I'll work at a grocery store, bag groceries if I have to.
He's a plumber and he's anxious to get back home and get to work, but until the water clears out, he can't earn a paycheck.
New Orleans, that's where everybody makes their money.
There are a lot of unknowns for the Graffios right now. They don't know about their house, and even worse, they can't make contact with relatives.
Because they stayed for Betsy, and they said they didn't want to get out, and they staying home, and haven't heard nothing.
While they wait for those calls, they are looking for anything they can find out about their house.
Water is running out of the houses and trees are down, but you can get through now.
At almost the same time, the message they've been waiting for days.
Melissa, he felt the insurance, but she's all right. She's in the Bell South building. Jeez, thank God. That's who he was worried about.
Everyone they know and love seems to have made it. The rest, they believe, will follow. In Crowley, Rebecca Rodriguez, Channel 8 News.
And Steve McCauley joins us now. And, you know, when we talked to Pete Delkus some time ago, he was talking about the fact that the water had finally leveled off between the lake and the city. So any good news in terms of the weather for the folks there? They're so hot there.
Not
in Louisiana.
immediate good news. I mean, we do have some pretty strong thunderstorms developing in the New Orleans area, but the really good news is that by the weekend, everything is going to be really drying out, dry air moving in, and rain chances go away. Let me show you a quick update of what's going on locally. Again, we got the few little puffy white cumulus clouds developing out there across North Texas, but not much chance these will actually develop into anything. But as you take a look down in the New Orleans area, you can see very heavy thunderstorms refiring across across the Crescent City, and they're just not moving very much. They're producing some very heavy rainfall, even around the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. They're seeing some thunderstorms developing. But again, as we go into the weekend, much drier air will be pushing into Louisiana, and things will be drying out, and the humidity levels will be going down as well. Back here in North Texas, again, you can see some of our buildups with the cloud cover, but we're not expecting any precipitation here, although we desperately need it. It's 94 degrees, but look at the dew point. It's down at 58 now with our humidity at 30%. Winds are light out of the north and northwest at 7 miles per hour. Temperatures, Decatur up to 91 degrees now, Denton up to 95, while still 97 in Terrell, also 97 degrees. Up in Greenville and elsewhere, it looks like 97 is the hot spots. Palestine also in Paris at 97, while it's a relatively cool 88 degrees for folks up in the Bridgeport area. Again, you can see some of those clouds developing, and they're tracking from east to west, kind of backwards what we normally expect, but this time of the year we're in that tropical flow, so things tend to come out of an easterly direction. Temperatures today, upper 90s and lower 100s across North Texas with that air pollution watch level red in effect for today. Right now we're all still in the green, so not a bad afternoon in progress, but perhaps by late in the day ozone levels could become unhealthy. To the north, thunderstorms flaring up across the state of Kansas, but not much else going on elsewhere across the country. We do have that cold front rolling down from the south. I do want to update you on the tropics, and I have to take you out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, not bothering anybody at this point. We do have a couple of systems out there. This one up here used to be Tropical Storm Lee. It's now a depression kind of falling apart and heading out to sea. This one could become Tropical Storm Mariah. Right now it's just a tropical depression, and the computer models are taking this up to a Category 5 hurricane. That's the bad news. The good news is a high-pressure brick wall appears to be developing along the east coast of the United States, and it should block this from moving into the country. We will keep you updated on this because this will be yet another powerful hurricane in the days to come. Meanwhile, across Texas, there's not a lot going on. We are expecting thunderstorms to fire up across the eastern plains of New Mexico and the Panhandle, falling apart. Again, not much chance for any rainfall for us here locally until Saturday. So 100 degrees today, down to 73 for tonight, 97 tomorrow. Chance of some thunderstorms on Saturday with a high of 95, dropping to 92 on Sunday and 93 on Monday. So again, the good news is drier air coming into the New Orleans area, and the next big hurricane could possibly be deflected out to sea.
Good. I hope you're right about that getting pushed away. Thank you, Steve. Well, many of us have fond memories of New Orleans. We remember it well before the storm.
Coming up next, a tour of the Big Easy by boat and how Southern hospitality is rising from the floodwaters.
Log on to WFAA.com for breaking news, live weather radar, and video clips. The stories you want whenever you want them. From News 8, the most trusted news team in North Texas, WFAA.com.
Leave a sanctuary this comfy? Not a chance.
Giddy up. Yeah, this is Rob. I'm not going to be able to come in today.
That's the IKEA effect. Nice.
My face is numb.
Beds to dressers, linens to tea lights.
We got to do this more often.
IKEA, how will it affect you?
Thousands of patients come to Dallas to Boothe Eye Care and Laser Center to see Dr. Boothe every year. They all have one thing on their minds. They all have something they'd like to lose. How about you? Do you have something you'd like to lose too? Lose your glasses and contacts with all laser blade-free IntraLASIK performed by the world's most experienced IntraLASIK surgeon, Dr. William Boothe. Call today, 214-328-0444 for your free screening appointment so you too can say,
Thanks, Dr. Boothe!
Save on quality furnishings during the RoomStore's Labor Day celebration. This 3-piece queen bed is an amazing value at only $288. Add the dresser and mirror and pay only $688 for all 5 pieces. Plus, take advantage of absolutely no money down and no interest with low monthly payments until 2008. You'll find it at the furniture name you trust. Texas' original room package store, the RoomStore.
We put it all together and save you more at the RoomStore.
8,000 men and women have experienced the miracle of Dr. David Kent's Lifestyle Lift, the amazing cosmetic procedure that can take up to 20 years of facial aging off in just 1 hour And now you can too. Announcing Pay 2006. That's right. You can look younger today and you won't pay one dime until 2006. Call today to see if you qualify. 1-800-IMAGE-75. That's 1-800-IMAGE-75. Dr. David Kent's Lifestyle Lift. Look younger today, pay in 2006.
This is the WFAA Channel 8 Community Calendar.
President's a massive stroke. The 25th Amendment would kick in. The Vice President assumes the presidency.
Why do you want to be president? The answer is that you want the power to control the universe.
That's not me.
Well, that's the problem. People who don't want power have no idea how to use it when they have it. I want you to resign.
I'm going to run this government.
Emmy winner Donald Sutherland, Oscar winner Gina Davis is Commander-in-Chief. Premieres Tuesday, September 27th, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Recapping our top story at midday, police and National Guard troops are stepping up their vigilance in the hurricane zone now. Tempers are flaring, though, in New Orleans, and necessities dwindling, like food and water, as heavily armed police try to evacuate the Superdome. Texas will take in an additional 25,000 evacuees to be housed in San Antonio. President Bush visits the Gulf Coast region tomorrow.
Well, you know, that garage sale you've been talking about having for years, well, now there's a way to get rid of all that junk and help the hurricane victims. On News 8 at 5 o'clock this evening, we'll tell you about a local hotel's free garage sale. It's another way to help the evacuees here in North Texas. New Orleans. I mean, everyone kind of just conjures up certain memories. It's long been celebrated for its Mardi Gras, its jazz, the Cajun food.
So good. Remember going there when I was 18 years old. What a city. It does hold a special place in America's heart, but now it's really hard to reconcile the New Orleans we knew with images left in the wake of Hurricane Katrina. ABC's Bill Weir takes a trip down memory lane by boat.
With Katrina's howl long silent, the watery streets of this town now echo with the sound of outboard motors. Bass fishing and duck hunting boats, hundreds of them, towed from the bayous to the streets by all variety of southern sportsmen, all anxious to help hunt for survivors.
So have people offered to pay you guys anything for your efforts? Or is this all volunteer work? All volunteer work.
It is hard to fathom sane people choosing to stay and live in this.
They said, well, maybe we have enough food for another 3 days. We're like, you think we're going to come back here and do all this 3 days from now?
So to prove it, they floated me up Robert E. Lee Boulevard to a genteel neighborhood near City Park, where I finally found what Katrina couldn't kill.
What's your
My
name?
name's Penny Weeks, and this is Bruce Gobert.
Hey, Bruce.
Southern hospitality and stoic charm lives amid the brackish waters of their living room.
It was underwater, and it worked.
It is obvious their spirits are already up.
Oh, I'm so glad we cleaned the kitchen this morning, honey.
He did the dishes, I see.
This home belongs to the Gilbert family patriarch, a former king of Mardi Gras. And while his furniture floats downstairs, he holds court upstairs for family, friends, and neighbors, all supporting his decision to stay, come hell and high water.
Don't you think you'd be more comfortable somewhere else?
I feel safe and I feel comfortable. More so than, I'm not going to be corralled.
You guys are going to survive, but will the city?
Oh, hell yes. Oh, come on, man. Oh, ye of little faith.
So what is it about this place that gives you this sort of steel spine?
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to define. It's a feeling. You know, this is my home. This is where my roots are. My family is. It's not something you easily turn your back on.
Oh, such determination. Well, finally, we do want to remind you how you can help hurricane victims.
We are teaming up with Tom Thumb for the Spirit of Texas Hurricane Relief effort. You can find scan cards at all North Texas Tom Thumb stores. When you make your donation, it goes directly to the American Red Cross. If you choose, you can also make a donation through any Chase or Bank One location in the state. WFAA and the Dallas Morning News are sponsoring this effort. Make those checks payable to the Spirit of Texas Hurricane Relief Fund.
And then tomorrow, we again will host a drive-through here at WFAA's downtown Dallas studio on Young and Record Shepherd Streets. That's from 2 to 6 p.m. All money collected will go to the American Red Cross. Steve, Justin, and I, Greg, many of us will all be out there collecting your donations, so please stop by.
Almost everyone on air here at WFAA is going to be manning the booth, if you will, tomorrow afternoon, sometime between 2 and 6. So come out and see us and bring what you can. $1 will make a difference if enough people do it.
Yeah, it all helps. And thank you for joining us here for News 8 Midday.
Jeff and Macy come back at 5 o'clock.
WFAA is part of BELO. From coast to coast, BELO media companies share the highest standards of journalism and community service, listed on the New York Stock Exchange as BLC.
Join me in participating in the 15th annual Bryan's House Open, Monday, September 12th at Glen Eagles Country Club. Shotguns start at noon, in the spirit of Texas.
Get the look you want for less during EyeMasters $59.95 frame sale. Every designer, every style, every frame is on sale for just $59.95. No exclusions. And most glasses are ready in about an hour. EyeMasters. Why pay more?
Start the search for your next car at CarMax. Instead of driving around all day, come to where you can compare features and options and test drive nearly every make and model on one lot. So start your search today. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
Start your used car search at CarMax. We've sold more guaranteed quality used cars than anyone else in America. So if you want to know what a high quality used car looks like, Ford.
Good afternoon, I'm Dan Harris. More troops are now on their way to try to contain the violence and lawlessness that is spreading through the devastated Gulf region. There are reports of carjackings and even of shots fired at rescue helicopters. The first evacuees from the New Orleans Superdome have now arrived at Houston's Astrodome. Thousands of others, however, are still waiting to get out of the flood zone. In Mississippi, the situation is also dire. The federal government is airlifting clean water and supplies. Across the nation, gas prices are surging. In Georgia, some stations are charging $6 a gallon. President Bush has warned suppliers against price gouging. And he has asked 2 former presidents, his father and President Clinton, to lead a private fundraising campaign for the victims. We'll bring you the president's remarks shortly, and we'll have a complete report on World News Tonight.